Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. In this video, I'll show you how to add a border around a text box in Canva. Let's get started. First of all, we're going to add text to our canvas by simply pressing T on the keyboard. This will add a text box to your design. Next, we're going to create the text border. Now, there are a couple of different ways to do this in Canva, but I'm going to show you the best and most flexible method, one that a lot of people don't even know about. First, press R on your keyboard to add a square to the canvas. Now, using the corner and side handles, you can reshape this square into a rectangle, or any shape you want. For this tutorial, we're going to adjust the shape into a rectangle to use as our border element. Once you've resized the rectangle to fit around your text box, you can adjust its thickness by tweaking the size further. Keep in mind that you want to create enough space so that the text inside looks balanced and professional. First, let's use the bar handle on the left side of the square. Simply left-click and drag it to the left to stretch the square. Once that's done, we'll repeat the same step for the handle on the right side. Left-click and drag it to the right, and just like that, we've transformed our square into a nice rectangular text box border. Now, place your mouse over the text box you just created. Press and hold Alt on your keyboard if you're on a PC, or Option if you're on a Mac. Then, press and hold the left mouse button and drag to duplicate the text box. Once you've duplicated it, left-click on the text box, and then at the top of the screen, click on the color square to open the color selection panel. From here, you can customize the color of your text box or border to match your design. After selecting the color square, click on the transparency square, which is labeled as no color, to remove the fill color of the rectangle. Next, on the right-hand side, click on the border style option. From here, you can adjust the border weight by increasing the slider or inputting a specific value. And just like that, your border magically appears around the text box. You can now customize its thickness and color to fit your design perfectly. Now we have the perfect border in place. This was made possible because we previously removed the fill color by clicking on the transparency square. From here, everything gets super simple. If you want to have a simple border around your text box, just drag the border element and position it perfectly over your text box. With a little adjustment, you'll have a clean and professional look for your design. The beauty of this method is that the border we've created is fully flexible. Thanks to the bar handles around the rectangle, you can easily adjust the border's size, shape, and proportions to fit your text box perfectly. This flexibility is a big advantage compared to using pre-made borders from the Elements tab in Canva. Those borders often lack the same level of customization and can be harder to adjust to your specific design needs. With this method, you have complete control. That's also why we didn't do that in the first place. Most border elements that you find here under Elements are actually not fully customizable and miss these bar handles here on the sides. With that said, as you can see here, now, if you would like to have a border around the text box that actually has fill color, then you can obviously also use our fully customizable border element here to get the job done. While our border element here is selected, we can simply move that one down. Let me just change the color of the border element so that you can actually see it better. So once you've selected the border element, click on the border color option at the top. On the left side, you can either select a solid color or a gradient color. I'm going with this cool gradient color right here. Once you've chosen your color, simply select your border element. Now, with the helpful handles, you can easily adjust the border to your liking just like that. The bottom, top, and right sides are already fitting perfectly. Now that we have a lovely border around our text box, let's click on the text itself and change the color to something else. This is necessary because we're about to drag it on top of our text box, which is also black. That doesn't really make a lot of sense, so we need to change the color of our text here. With the text selected, click on the text color option at the top and choose a solid color for your text, like red. Once you've done that, simply left-click, hold, and drag the text onto the text box. If the text is a little too big, you can use the circular handles at the edges to resize it and make it fit the text box perfectly. Now, last but not least, there's another little hack I'd like to show you, which will make things even faster for you. As you probably remember, when you press R on your keyboard, it adds a square element to the canvas. You can quickly use this to create your border, just like we've done before, but here's a faster method. You can duplicate the square and modify it without having to manually adjust every time. Now, with these bar handles again, we'll make it the same size as our other text box. We can now create a border around this element without using an additional border element. To do this, simply left-click on this box, and then at the top, click on Border Style. From here, You can adjust the border thickness, color, and other settings, just like we did earlier, to give the text box a neat and clean border. Then, just increase the border weight here, and this will directly create a border around our element. For now, it's clearly visible because it's in black, but we can easily change the border color as well. Simply click on the border color option and choose a color that fits your design. Here's how we do it, just like that. Now, last but not least, if you want to get more creative with your text box borders in Canva, you can click on Elements in the left sidebar and then search for Borders at the top. To use one of these, simply click on it and it will be added to your design. Please note that any element you see here with this crown symbol can only be used if you have a Canva Pro subscription. If you don't have a Canva Pro subscription, you can only use border elements like this one, which doesn't have the crown icon. Another thing to keep in mind, as I mentioned earlier, is that these border elements come with certain restrictions. For example, if you choose a fully closed border like this one, you might encounter the issue where the border doesn't perfectly fit around your text box. Because these borders under elements can't be adjusted in size, you might run into issues. For instance, even with the bar handles, if you move them to the left, you'll notice that the top border disappears, and the same happens at the bottom. This lack of flexibility can make it harder to perfectly fit the border around your text. That is exactly why I highly recommend the method I showed you at the beginning of this video. With that approach, there are no limitations, and you can resize the border to any size you need. It's much more flexible and gives you complete control over the design. Still, if you want to get creative, take a look at these borders under Elements, and you can definitely come up with some cool ideas and solutions. For example, you could grab an element like this one here and move it to one corner, adjusting it to create a unique border effect. It's all about experimenting with different elements to find the look that works best for your design. Then, hover over the element and press and hold the Alt or Option key on your keyboard and drag to duplicate the element. You can then rotate the element using this icon right here and reposition it to the other corner. This method allows you to create a custom, stylish border or frame for your design, giving it a unique and professional touch. With these techniques, you can create some really fancy and creative borders for your text boxes, or even images in Canva. And that's actually all you need to know about how to put a border around a text box. Hopefully, this video helped you to get more creative with your designs in Canva. If you found this tutorial helpful, please make sure to like the video and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching.